Welcome back, friends. Last guy for your time for more The Great Ace Attorney. We're in part 2 of this case. 19th of February, 2:38 p.m., Briar Road. It looks as though the police are still here, carrying on with their investigation. Perfect. So let's find Inspector Gregson as quickly as possible. Yes, and let's see if he'll take a break from his chips to look at this silver tip Iris gave us for him. Alright, how good is this voice gonna be? This is a third run at him. I think I got it at this point. Let's go. Inspector Gregson, do you have a moment? I'm sorry to say I don't. I'm a very busy man. Much too busy to talk to a pair of phone gadabouts, that's for sure. We have these for you. A present from Miss Iris Wilson. What? For me? From her ladyship? Her ladyship? Give that here, at once. Come on, hand it over. That's for me. Don't wait for me to give it to you, will you? What was that coin exactly? It's a silver crown, obviously, but it's a lot more than that. It's an appearance fee, that's what it is. An appearance fee? Oh, I see. You mean... That's right, for the adventure of Herlock Sholmes. Her ladyship always offers me a little financial reward for featuring me. Every time! Yes, of course. I know all about your exploits, Inspector. I read them avidly. Does he like or hate this book? Of course, he's using my name without me to say so. Does make me a butt of a lot of unpleasant jokes, but still. I am sorry, Inspector. That must be difficult for you. Never you mind that. So, what do you want to know then, eh? Sorry? Tell the gentleman in black whatever he wants to know. I trust that won't be a problem, he says. Well, obviously it's not a problem. Go on, fire away. What do you want to know? Well, I bet that unlimited chips you got. Well, if you wouldn't mind, Inspector. We'd very much like to know the address of Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Ah, the little knife-wielding, mustached Japanese fella. He lives in a right old hovel. It's just over there, look. Oh, he wasn't even that far away. Alright. Were there just steps in the snow? Is that how they found him? On the first floor of that house in the corner, with that wreck of a bicycle's propped up. That is nearby indeed. If I remember rightly, the landlord is a Mr. John Garib. Right, well, if you see her again, you make sure you give her ladyship my regards, you hear? I mean it, you tell her that Gregson sends his very best wishes. Don't worry, Inspector, we will. Don't kill me. Goodbye for now, then. And long live her ladyship. Okay. Does he respect the fact that she gets her deductions right? Well, at least he told us what we wanted to know before he left. Yes, so then, shall we go and see what we can find in Mr. Natsume's lodgings? Definitely. Do 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 do. Lodgings of Mr. Soseki Natsume, according to information gleaned from Inspector Gregson. But let's go. So Sholmes will be here. Sholmesy. Oh, look at this guy's place. Why does he have a cannon? Why does he have a cannon? That is compensating for something. 19th of February, Mr. Natsume's lodgings. Oh, may I help you? Yes, would this be the residence of Mr. John Garibib? Oh, okay, that's why. Indeed it would, sir. And who may I say is calling? My name is Ryunosuke Nadahodo. I am... Miss Nadahodo is representing Mr. Soseki Natsume. I believe he takes lodgings here? Oh! We would very much like to ask him some questions about our client. Oh! What the fudge? One moment, please. I shall convey the message to Mr. Garib. Garadeb. Alright. I wonder if that name's an anagram for anything. Can't tell. Did you see that, Mrs. Sato? That was a real-life English maid. I know. As I understand it, anyone of standing in the English society employs a number of household staff. But that was the first time I've ever seen one in the flesh. Oh, this day keeps getting better. It certainly feels like we've really arrived now, doesn't it? We need only to meet a butler and the experience will be complete. Well, I'm not sure if I'd go that far, but I understand the sentiment. Thank you for waiting. Mr. Gerdib will see you now, this way. Moon! Alright, so she's the sun, he's the moon. Alright, that's the joke. Okay. Let us examine. Alright, what we got. Broken stuff! Look at this crockery on display here. It's rather unusual, isn't it? Oh my, a genuine London dresser. Isn't it delightful? Although the shelves seem to be broken and the crockery is... Oh dear! It's in pieces. It really is. The word cracked wouldn't do that chinaware justice. I wonder. Perhaps the cannon was fired at it. What? Yes, probably something like that. But let's not delve too deeply here. What? Oh, look! What a wonderful collection of cakes lined up on that gleaming silver cake stand. Lined up? It looks more like someone has half demolished them to me. Afternoon tea is a time of indulgence, you know. It is quite the English here. The English way. And Mr. Gerdib's custom to take 2 cakes with his tea. That sounds delightful. Oh, wait a minute, though. There are at least 10 cakes on this cake stand. Well, naturally. It would never do to waste the leftovers. But whatever Mr. Gerdib doesn't eat, I say to myself, John, you shall have to tidy up. Well, magnanimous. How magnanimous. How magnanimous of you. Magnanimous. Yeah, that's how you say it. How magnanimous of you. Boop, boop, boop. Dresser. Not dresser, screen. Look at this enormous screen. It must have been put there deliberately, sure. Yes, it certainly seems like someone's trying to hide something from view. What could be behind it, I wonder? I'm going to have a very quick look. Just a little peek. Maybe let's not, Mrs. Sato. I think the maid is going to head us off with a cup of tea. A medal. That looks like a Medal of Honor, and it's showcased on a very grand banner. Yes, it's displayed with some pride, I would say, although it bothers me that it's not straight. What, that old thing? Sorry? I should be glad to see the back of it, but the general would turn in his grave if I disposed of it. The wall's the best place for it. Keeps the bally thing out of my way. So it's just been polished to shine by accident, I suppose. There appears to be an inscription on the medal itself, look. Let me see. It says, for distinguished participation. Sounds like the kind of honors even I could be in line for. Well, one doesn't like to blow one's own trumpet, but I was given that for my time in the army. Can't measure an officer by the number of medals to his name, of course. Common knowledge in military circles. Did he just stir it with his pipe? That seems wrong. That uniform looks fairly ancient, doesn't it? It's clearly been well looked after, though. That old thing? Not much better than rags, really. Oh! Wore that ceremonial garb at my retirement bash, you know. But I'm not one for dwelling on the past, me. Would have gladly thrown it out, but you know how it is. Anyway, doesn't hurt to have the old piece of memorabilia lying around, does it? Oh, I see. Perhaps we should leave the past in the past. Dude has a cannon. That's a full-size cannon! What's it doing here? Oh my, it's real! Thought it might be a replica. That old thing? That's little more than a toy. Sorry. The army was selling it off when I retired, so I decided to give it a new home. Never know when the enemy might attack next. Jolly useful to have a cannon about the house. Really? It isn't overkill? Be prepared, I always say. You never know what this twisted world is going to throw at you next, boy. He's not going to live to see the next war. You think there may be trouble brewing, Mr. Garridip? Always is. Take Joan here. Never fails to have a clean apron in reserve. Dries them over the barrel, you see. They dry very well in the cannon there, Joan tells me. Which rather proves my point, I feel. It's been reduced to a drying rack. No wonder the huge cannon looks like it's hanging its head in shame. They also have shells, by the way, right there. Are those mortar shells? They're enormous! Oh, I hadn't noticed. What are they doing here? Ah, those old things. Couple of little rounds I accidentally fired into the barracks during training, you know. Became a bit of a colorful regiment folklore, that incident. You mean you deliberately hunted out the spent shells? Well, I wouldn't say deliberately exactly. They're only scrap iron, after all. Usually just thrown away, I believe. But you never know when things might come in useful. Do you? Useful for what exactly? Yes, well... Joan here did manage to knock one of the bally things on my foot the other day while she was dusting. Oh no! Hadn't shed a tear since 1869 before then, you know. Maybe reconsider throwing them away? I think it's everyone but them, alright. Good day to you, John Garridip, at your service. Pleased to meet you, sir. This is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. He's a defense lawyer. You excuse me, but not getting up. Took a shot to the knee a few years back in the Battle of Mewand, don't you know? Earned a medal for my pains, but had to withdraw from service, handed over the reins to the up-and-coming. There's a retired soldier. It's a hell of a job getting up and downstairs now, I can tell you that. Don't get out much, as you can imagine. Yes, it's quite a climb up here in the second floor, isn't it? I was panting at the top of the stairs. You really must take more exercise, Miss Naruhodo. Do you think so? Well, Mr. Garridip, no doubt you were very courageous to earn yourself a medal. Oh, it was nothing. The medal's just a folderol, really. We didn't like to offend the general, though, so I grudgingly displayed on the wall. Why don't you fetch it down, Joan? Let those good people see it properly. Okay. Joan, fetch the... Oh, my balls! Hush it all, woman, be careful. Oh, dearie me, I do beg your pardon, sir. You jolly nearly took the skin off my hands. I should be more careful, sir. So anyway, there you have it. Living the quiet life now. Yes, I see. Now then, I hear you want to know about the chap lodging downstairs, is that right? Yes, we'd be very grateful if you could answer some questions for us. Only too pleased, naturally, especially if it helps to keep the peace here in Blighty. We forged an alliance with the Empire of Japan recently, as I'm sure you're aware. This case is very much in the public eye, as it were. Oh, is it? He even had some famous detective poking around, you know, in this old house, would you believe? Yes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Could have been. Didn't catch the chap's name. Not really my cup of tea, all that detective business. Oh, but you have a copy of Rand's magazine here, so... Eh? No, Anyway, the chap's investigating the foreigner's room as we speak. So he's in Saseki-san's room. It's a bally nuisance, is what it is. The whole neighborhood's twitching its curtains now. I don't like all this fuss. It's jolly unsettling. About Miss Natsume. About Mr. Natsume, then, Mr. Garridip. Please do tell us. Ah, yes, the Japanese chap. Only been lodging here for a week. Oh, just 1 week? So I moved in very recently then. I have 2 lodgings most of the time, one on the ground floor and one just below us. The first floor room became available a week ago, you see. There had been Hush it all, Joan. Do be careful. Oh my goodness. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Ooh. You want to know my opinion? I thought he was a shady sort of the moment I set eyes on him. Oh, this lady did something. Oh, why? He seemed to have a most nervous disposition, always shaking and looking over his shoulder. The man had shady written across his sweat-soaked brow, if you asked me. I said to myself, Joan, that man is trouble. Sooner or later he's going to do something untoward. And I'm rarely wrong about anything. We won't be counting this maid as a witness, that's for sure. Huh. Was there anything else that struck you as suspicious about the man at all? Huh. Yes, oh yes, indeed there was. And she's dying to tell us. The shady lodger. Had you noticed anything else at all about your lodger, Mr. Natsume? Huh? Oh my, yes. The man was shadier than an orchard. Could you elaborate? Could you elaborate? They're the same voice, I gotta work on that. Well, take the man's room. Absolutely stuffed full of books it is. More than anyone could ever read. And he never so much as passes the time of day with another living soul. Haven't seen a single visitor call. He just trots off to that old bookshop every day. And comes back at 5 to light the gas fire. And the funny little man is up long past the time. Everyone else in the house has gone to bed too. Oh, I see. The gentleman on the ground floor goes to bed at around 9 each night. And I've never known that Japanese fellow to retire any earlier than 2 in the morning. Ah. Could you clarify something, I wonder? What, pray? How do you know so much about Mr. Natsume's routine? Oh. The jiggle physics on that lady's cheeks. I don't understand that neither lodgers live on this floor of the house, is that correct? That's right, they're both below us. On the first floor at street level. Then, how is it that you know so much about the lives of your lodgers? The precise times that they come back in the evening, for example, even the times they go to bed? We're bored. The balls! Good grief, Joan. Good grief, Joan. Be more careful, woman. My goodness, sir. I'm terribly sorry, sir. Something doesn't add up here. The incident 2 days ago. It seems that the incident took place at around 5 in the evening? Did you happen to look out the window at around that time? The window. Yes, we noticed that the window over there looks out over Briar Road. The incident took place on the pavement just on the far side of the street. Was there anyone suspicious loitering nearby? 5 o'clock is dinner time in the Garadib household. So I'm afraid I don't remember seeing anything. How about you, Joan? No, sir. It would have been dusk outside already at that hour. With the fog as well, I should think it would have been quite impossible to see the other side of the road. Oh, I see. Did you notice anything else out of the ordinary, then? Such as? Anything at all, even if it seems unrelated. Well... Yes, was there something then? Well, it's nothing particularly significant around that time, so... For the love of God, Joan, watch what you're doing. Oh, dearie me, what have I done? I'm awfully sorry, sir. Be more careful, woman. Of course, sir. If I may, Mr. Narrow Hollow. Oh, yes? Have an exceedingly good memory, and as far as I can remember, nothing of having significance could take place here at that hour. Nothing at all. Oh, really? Mr. Garrett? The way you were talking before sounded rather like there might have been. Oh, well, as I was saying, it was just a trifling matter, really. Nothing of... Joan National, what is the matter with you, woman? Begging your pardon, sir. Nothing happened. Yes, quite. Nothing happened. We sat down to a quiet, uneventful meal. Joan. That's right, Mr. Gardrip. Gardip. What is the matter with these two? It sounds like something happened here in this room on the evening of the incident. But what? Oh, they banged. I wish I knew. Miss Natsume's room. Could you tell us which floor Mr. Natsume's room is on? Why, certainly. Just below us on the first floor. And Mr. Sholmes is investigating there even as we speak? Yes, told me Nat's his name had asked him to look into the matter, so I gave him the key. Mr. Natsume has engaged Mr. Sholmes' service. Oh, he's lying! That's a blatant lie. Would it be alright if we also had a look around? In Mr. Natsume's room, I mean? Don't see why not. It's just down one flight of stairs. Who knows if we'll find anything that could help us with the case, but we have to try. We need all the clues we can lay our hands on, shall we? Yes, and while we're there, we can speak with Mr. Sholmes again. Perhaps he'll be able to tell us more. We're gonna come back up here and do deductions, aren't we? Because we gotta get that information out of this guy. Alright, it's going down. B. There, okay. Move. New location has been added. Mr. Natsume's room. Small dark room rendered by a visiting scholar from the Empire of Japan by the name of Saseki Natsume. Ah, my back. There's a cat! Of course there's a cat. There's also a beckoning cat. You could read all those books. You got nothing better to do in this world. Besides say you're a cat. 19th February, Miss Natsume's room. What? Just look at this place. And smell it. It's so musty in here. I suppose that's the mountains of old books that are responsible for that. I don't think I've ever seen so many books in all my life. No, me neither. It's so dark in here, too. Is that the window over there? Well, it was the window, I think, yes, once upon a time. But for some reason, it's been closed up with bricks and mortar. So this is where Mr. Natsume lives. By the way, I haven't spotted Mr. Sholmes anywhere, have you? He's buried under the books. Well, that's true, but according to what Mr. Garadib told us, the great detective should be around here somewhere investigating. Once we see a specific item, he'll appear. I'm sure. Or he's right here. Nope. That seems like dangerous to do right here. A candle there. Look at those books stacked up there. They almost reach the ceiling. They're all works of English literature. They all smell so musty. With this volume of books to hand, you'd never be short of reading material, would you? No, what a dreamy idea. A bad dream, maybe. For me, at least. Mind you, I don't imagine a book that's at the bottom of the pile now will ever be read again. I've had situations where something I need is in the corner of a room, buried under everything else. That sucks. I think it was like a video card that I needed to send Jinx. Yeah, it was. It was a video card I needed to send Jinx. Oh god, that was great. Oh, so reading it is an experience that comes but once in a lifetime, just as the tea ceremony teaches us. I certainly didn't expect the conversation to turn down the path of tea ceremony philosophy. It's a kitty! Oh, kitty. Oh my, what an adorable little cat. Perhaps he's looking after all the books while his master is away. I don't know about that. He disappeared into the pile of books as quick as a flash. It's a tricolor Mickey, wasn't it? Do they even have that sort of cat here in Great Britain? Perhaps Mr. Natsume brought the little creature with him from Japan. That's made me feel homesick now. Already? We've only been in the country for 2 days, and on a ship for 3 months! Oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Let's look at the beckoning cat. Oh look, it's a beckoning cat from home. It's a bit big and bulky, isn't it? Surely Mr. Natsume didn't bring the Maneki Neko all the way from Japan with him. I hardly think you're in position to comment. Mr. Naruhodo. Are you forgetting the enormous Daruma doll that you brought in your luggage? Well, it can be dangerous traveling abroad. I wanted a lucky charm. I imagine Mr. Natsume wanted the same, and this cat is sure to beckon good luck to him. He's not doing a very good job so far, is it? You mustn't say such things, or think them. I didn't say a word! Yep. Why am I such a giveaway? People are reading his mind. I guess the window should be looked at. Did you even call this a window? Nope. I think so. It has a window at one point, after all. Although all that remains is a frame around some bricks now. So really, it's just a wall then, isn't it? A framed wall. But why would anyone deliberately brick it up like that? I'm afraid I have no idea. Ah! Perhaps Mr. Natsume painted the brick design on in a fit of whimsy. That's alarmingly feasible. Anyway, whatever the reason, the lack of ventilation in here makes the place very oppressive. Yeah, right? It does. I imagine being cooped up in a room like this would be extremely trying. Alright. Oh, here. Okay. I didn't click on anything, that's why. That desk seems to be wedged into a crevasse between the mountains of books on either side. I assume that desk was there first. I suppose Mr. Natsume would sit there and read while stroking his cat. But surrounded on all sides by these towering old tomes, surely he dreamt of books every night as well. Yes, he must have done, mustn't he? Oh, what's this? Where's his bed? It's a receipt from a second-hand bookshop. Your books. Oh my god. Oh yes, Mr. Natsume's name is on it. Look. And the date of purchase. 2 days ago at 4:45 p.m. That's the day of the incident. That's just a short while before he was embroiled in the terrible attack. He must have been on his way back from buying some old books. Second-hand book receipt. Added to the court record. Take a look at that. Now Sholmes will probably show up, right? Yep, called that. Okay, let's take a look at this. Sum of 2 shillings tendered in receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lequet, a meal for Gabourey, and Canterbury Yearnings. Curious if these are real books. It's Sholmes time! Let's see what's time. Okay, we got time to do this. Let's go! Look, Mr. Naruhodo. Aha, there he is. Where did he appear from? He seems to be engrossed in the pages of an old book. I hope he won't mind if we disturb him. Hello, Mr. Sholmes. You two, good day. Now let me see, where was it that we met? Oh, Mr. Sholmes, we were together in the SS Burya. Yes, of course, the Burya. And let me see, what happened on that voyage? It was Kazuma Asogi, he died tragically, but you were a great help to us. Yes, but of course, the case of Monsieur Sogi. It was the one with the snake, wasn't it? Oh. Well, you seem to remember something of it at least. What an honor to be remembered vaguely by the great... vaguely! Great Herlock Sholmes. This is Mr. Oh, no, my dear madam, hold your tongue. I pride myself on my superior powers of recollection. Your names are safely recorded in my brain attic. Miss Nadahoto. And Mr. Susato. Try the other way around, Mr. Sholmes. I lose the first round. Oh yeah, do people... actually, I don't... no. In Japanese culture, do you take your spouse's last name or not? I think so, but I don't know. Off the top of my head. In truth, I had hoped to invite you both to my Baker Street suite the day we arrived in London. But some Scotland Yarders ambushed me at the railway station and whisked me away to a crime scene. It was an entirely trivial case, of course. I solved the matter in no more than 30 minutes. So they apprehended Soseki-san in that short amount of time. I'm afraid the pursuance of a new case has dulled my recollection of my past involvements a little. A little? It is a mistake to think that one's brain attic has elastic walls and can distend to an extent. It can. People have proven it. I do my best to forget useless facts, lest they should elbow out of the useful ones. How about the useful ones? Except, no, people do have encyclopedic knowledge. They do, so... Sholmes. Yes, those are my own words of inimitable wisdom, you know, of an adventure entitled A Study in Scarlet. Please, there's no need to quote yourself. I don't always remember my pearls of wisdom, but fortunately my associate pens them beautifully. It means Iris, I suppose. Mr. Sholmes, we have some extremely important questions to ask you about the trivial case you just mentioned. Goodness, what an earnest expression. My dear madam, I should only be too pleased. This murky room is an apt place to discuss the murky case. Alright, converse. It's Natsume's arrest. We know this to be the lodgings of a Japanese foreign student by the name of Suseki Natsume. It seems that you assisted in his arrest, Mr. Sholmes, for the stabbing of a young woman outside here on Briar Road. Natsume, yes, I do believe it was a name rather along those lines. But Mr. Natsume denies it. Was it really justifiable to arrest him on so little? I'm sorry, Mr. Sato, but I have not the slightest idea what you mean. What? I can't believe I was looking at Susato-san squarely in the eye while feigning ignorance. I assure you, I am not merely feigning ignorance. Why? Why can they read his mind? It would appear as if the pair of you are under some misapprehension. Oh? How? I assure you, I have no recollection of accusing your stooped compatriot of the crime. But that doesn't make sense. The good detective of Scotland Yard made the following request of me, and I quote verbatim. We need you to ascertain the identity and whereabouts of a man seen fleeing the crime scene. Ah, a man seen fleeing. There were a number of books scattered on the pavement at the scene. Oh! On the book plates, I was quickly able to determine the bookshop from which they had been purchased. On speaking with the proprietor, I was immediately led to this address. Elementary, wouldn't you say? Nicely done. I believe there's a receipt around here somewhere from the establishment in question. So you don't think Mr. Natsume is the culprit then? That I could not tell you. But it was aggravating my faculties. Hence why I returned here. However, this place is such a trove of fascinating books, I found myself quite lost in bibliophilia. Do not be deceived into believing that I am a man of leisure, no. Oh dear. They're the landlord. Ah, tell me. Have you encountered the landlord of these lodgings? Yes, Mr. Garrideb, a retired military man. It was the first time I've ever met a soldier from the Great British Institution that is the services. It was the first time I've ever met a maid from the Great British Institution that is service. This joke. I didn't think that was that funny. I do apologize. As you may well be aware, many households in London employ a maid. Yes, I read as much in my Great Britain primer. And so, conversely, whether or not a household employs a maid has come to betoken the social standing of those dwelling within. Betoken their social standing? Sorry? But simply, my dear fellow, those who employ at least a single maid are considered middle class. Those who do not are beneath that. In the upper echelons of society, of course, households employ enough staff to constitute a large family. Goodness, how extraordinary. As you can appreciate for those on the precarious boundary between the middle and lower class, being able to afford just one maid is of the first importance. I had no idea. And it is for precisely that reason that I find great stimulation in the situation upstairs. Specifically in the retired army veteran, Mr. John Girdib. Oh? Affable as he is, the fellow is hiding something. Whether or not it imposes on the circumstances of this case, I am as yet unable to ascertain. I'm thoroughly lost on what he means to say. We can tell he's hiding something. This dingy room. This room is thoroughly suffocating for the soul, my dear fellow. I assure you, any man whose lot is to dwell in a place such as this will stab somebody sooner or later. Mr. Natsume has stabbed no one. But sooner or later, as I said. I don't believe that's the issue here. About this dark little room, Mr. Sholmes. Why is there no longer a window? Do you have any idea? No window? Well, I mean, I can clearly see that there is a window of sorts. But it's been completely blocked with bricks. Ah, I see. The answer to that question is quite simple. Window tax. Window tax? What is that? Surely not a tax on windows. Precisely that. Oh my goodness. Until relatively recently, a tax was levied on households in this country by the number of their windows. Those of lesser means have inherited a sizable and costly family home, perhaps. Rapidly closed up windows. While the rich opened windows here and there and everywhere. In an effort to curry favor with those in power by furnishing them with large sums of tax money. How awful and unjust. Forcing people to live in rooms devoid of light. Indeed. Disease was rife as a result. So some 40 years ago or thereabouts, the window tax was abolished. But its legacy remains, as you can see, in squalid lodgings such as these, for example. I suppose Mr. Natsume's stipend for living in London isn't very generous, perhaps. It would appear so. I've done a little digging, and discovered that these lodgings were offered at an extraordinarily low price. Because the room is so awful, I should think. Apparently Mr. Natsume only moved in here about 1 week ago. Yes, that's correct. However, I don't believe that low rent is explained by the shabby nature of the accommodation. Oh! Still, that is a little relevance here. A matter not worthy of further attention. Are you sure? I'm curious now. Well, I do believe I've told you all I can now. Thank you, Mr. Sholmes. Ah, yes, Mr. Naruhodo. Was it not your intention to become a practitioner of law? Remember that, did you? Will you perhaps be offering your services in this very matter, I wonder? To the occupant of this room, Mr. Natsume, was it? I'm not sure. Not sure? On what grounds? Well, I actually defended someone in court here only yesterday. Really? Well then, I congratulate you, sir, on an ambition really realized. And so promptly, too. The thing is, it's really made me question things. And am I right to believe in my clients, to trust to their innocence? Yes, trust. Mr. Sholmes. Mr. Nutsby didn't do it, did he? My dear fellow, I haven't the first idea. Oh, but I thought that's why you were here. Didn't you come back to investigate? Ah, yes, that was indeed my initial intention. But there are simply too many fascinating books here. I couldn't possibly ignore them. Oh, I see. Nevertheless, there are two facts that I can state quite unequivocally. The man who fled the scene of the crime 2 days ago was the Japanese occupant of this room, and there are witnesses who swear to having seen the same man commit the crime. That is all I can say. Ah, and one more thing. Oh? What is it, Mr. Sholmes? Tell us. I cannot say with any certainty whether or not it is of relevance to this case, but I am quite sure that the retired armed man who owns this property is hiding something. Mr. Garrideb is. Mr. Sholmes said as much before, actually, didn't he? Anyway, at present, that is really all that plays on my mind in relation to this case. Mr. Naruhodo. As yet, our investigations have uncovered nothing that could help establish Mr. Natsume's innocence. No, you're right. Perhaps it's time we probed a little deeper into Mr. Garrideb's secret. Just remember, I cannot be sure whether the landlord's secret will prove to be of relevance or not. But I wish you every success, of course, Mr. Naruhodo. Thanks. A busy man indeed. He's gone back to his book in the corner of the room. So he's just gonna be sitting there. Okay, so I guess we go see Garrideb next. But look at the time. Okay, so that's it for now. I had fun. Hope you for watching. That's what's all about it. Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time when we go back to see Mr. Garrideb. So saving. I wonder if I should put them at Garrideb so I don't forget that's what I'm doing tomorrow. Let's go to Garrideb real quick, and then we'll save again. Back. Ooh. Garrideb's room. What did that say? 19th of February, Mr. Garrideb's room. We'll stop right there. That thing said... I'll have to see that again later. Okay, that's it for now. Thanks for coming by, everybody. See you next time.